one question I get all the time is, why would you leave the United States? Honestly, it wasn't because I had a bad life, because if I say so, I will be lying. Being able to migrate to the United States gave me the opportunity to have the foundation to build the life and the future that I want to build today. It was more of a personal choice that had me ending up moving to the Philippines. Now, a little bit about me. I'm a United States vet. I served in the United States Army for 5 years. I got one deployment to Iraq. Later on, I built a career in IT and I was making really good money. But from the outside, everything looked great. Deep down, I started feeling like I was stuck in a never-ending cycle. It was work, bills, sleep, and repeat. I realized that I was spending more time building someone else's dream than my own. After traveling through a few countries in South America, Europe, and Southeast Asia, I ended up falling in love with the Philippines. The people here have a slower pace of life, and the opportunities to build something from the ground up just felt right for me. Now, I'm not telling everybody else that they should come and move here and do the same thing I'm doing, but it was a huge leap of faith. But sometimes the biggest reward comes from taking the biggest risk. If you're curious about how I plan to move here, the visa process, or what it's really like leaving my career behind, let me know in the comments. I'll be more than happy to make a full videos about those topics. One of the projects that I'm more excited about is the house. As you can see in the background, there is a house being built. It is going to be a 2-story home with 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a dedicated office, a large family area, and a balcony overlooking the farm. But we're also thinking years ahead, you know. The way it's being built now will allow us to span it later if it's needed into 7-bedroom, 4-bathroom home without starting over from scratch. Watching it slowly come together has been one of the most rewarding parts of this journey. I know a lot of people are curious about what it actually costs to build a house in the Philippines. So if you would like, I can also make a detailed video showing the floor plans, construction updates, labor cost, material prices, and exactly how much I have spent so far. Will that be something that you want to see? Just let me know in the comments. Even though I chose this new life, there is things that I definitely miss about living in the United States. One of the biggest things is how organized things usually are. If you have an appointment at 10 in the morning, you will be seen at 10 in the morning more likely. Services tend to be faster and systems are usually easier to navigate, including websites and apps. Healthcare has its own challenges, of course. It's not perfect, but it's often much more structured than what I have experienced here. In many parts of the Philippines, especially the province, appointments are almost non-existent. It is usually first come first served basis. Waiting hours is just part of life here, and patience really becomes a daily skill. It's been a big adjustment, especially for me, since I've been in the military and I'm very organized. But every country has its strengths and weaknesses. So what do you think? Is there something about life in the US or the Philippines you'd like to compare in the future in a video? Just let me know. The farm already has plenty growing here, including calamansi, mangoes, papayas, pineapples, eggplants, and okra. But this is only the beginning. One of my next goals is building a chicken coop right beside the goat house. Chickens are one of the best animals to start with because they're relatively inexpensive to raise, provide fresh eggs almost every day, and can help with pest control. They're gonna roam around and eat every insect they find. Goats are another great starter animal because they don't require as much space as a cattle. They can eat pretty much any plant you have in the farm, and they're a good source of milk, meat, or breeding stock depending on your goal. They do have a reputation. They are really known for escaping. They have escaped my fence multiple times, and that's why I'm building them a house, and I'm gonna make a stronger fence. Another project I'm already looking forward to is planting a large banana plantation. Bananas grow well in this climate, produce fruit every year, and can become a reliable source of income once established. I also want to continue improving the rice fields because rice is one of the most important crops in the Philippines. Filipinos love rice, that's a fact, and learning how to grow it is something I always wanted to experience firsthand. Every tree, every animal, and every new project get this farm one step closer to the vision I have in my head for years. If you like, I can also separate videos explaining why I chose each crop and animal, how much they cost, and how much is gonna be the profit at the end of the year. Now, before making this move, I spent a lot of time doing research, watching videos, and reading about people who left their careers to build farms, businesses, or just simply retire overseas. It can be either Thailand, Southeast Asia, Philippines, South America, Colombia, whatever the case may be. One thing people need to be careful about is the fact that other people come out here and fail. They lose all their money, they get scammed, they meet someone online, and they start sending money and they lose it all. That's gonna be a topic for another video. But if you want to hear more about that and how you can prevent that, I can definitely talk about it. Now, one thing that almost all of these people had in common was this: they never said it was easy. Nobody ever does. And if they do, they're probably lying. But also, they never regretted coming over here, except the one that lost it all. The biggest reward seems to be having a slower pace of life, spending more times outdoor, and building something that actually belongs to you instead of spending your life building someone else's dream. Many also talk about enjoying a lower cost of living in certain areas and feeling more connected to their community. Now, yes, you can live on a budget here or way lower income that you will be able to live in the United States. That is true, but you gotta do it a specific way. You cannot come out here and live in a luxury condo, start spending money in luxury places and stuff, and expect that you're gonna be living here with $1,000. It's not gonna happen. Can you live with $1,000? Yes, I've seen people living with 20,000 a month, 20,000 pesos a month. Let's be clear. I don't know how they do it. I wouldn't be able to do it, but it's possible. So if you got $1,000, which is around 60,000 pesos, you can do a lot. But you have to adapt to the different culture, learn different ways of doing things. And one thing is that you need to accept that paperwork and government process can take much longer here than usual, and understand that patience becomes part of every day. I'm still at the beginning of my own journey, but so far I can already relate to many of these experiences. The challenges are real, but for me, they are worth it. If you like, I can also make videos sharing the biggest culture shock, surprises, and the lesson I have learned from ever since I moved here. If you made it this far, I really want to thank you for spending part of your day with me on this video. One thing I've realized since starting this journey is that a farm is never really finished. There is always another project waiting, another improvement to make, another lesson to learn. I actually think that is one of the reasons why I enjoy it so much. There is always something to do. One thing I would like to do in this channel is be as transparent as possible. I do not want to only show the finished results. Anyone can show a beautiful house or a successful harvest after everything is done. I think it is much more interesting to see what happens behind the scenes. The decisions that worked, the one that did not, and how those experiences help shape the farm into what it's eventually becoming. I also want to experiment with different ideas. Some crops may do incredibly well here, while others may fail completely. Some projects might save money, while others might turn out to be expensive mistakes. Instead of hiding those moments, I think they are worth documenting because that is where the best lessons usually come from. Another thing I find fascinating is how much nature changes throughout the year. The same piece of land can look completely different depending on the season. Trees grow taller, animals mature, new plants appear, and before you know it, the place barely resembles what it looked like just a few months earlier. That is one of the reasons I wanted to start recording now instead of waiting until everything looked perfect. I also hope these videos become something I can look back on years from now. Imagine watching this same piece of land 5 years from today and remembering exactly what it looked like at the beginning. I think that will be one of the most rewarding parts of this entire experience. As the channel grows, I would like to meet more people who enjoy farming, gardening, construction, and simple living. One of my favorite parts of YouTube is reading the comments because there's always something or someone sharing a tip, explaining a better way to do something, or telling a story from their own experience. I already learned a lot from people who have been doing this much longer than I have. So here's a few questions for you guys. If you own this land, what would you build that I have not thought about yet? What fruit has been the most rewarding that you have ever grown? What is one mistake you made that you wish someone had warned you about before you started farming? Those are the kind of conversation I would love to have in the comments because I think we can all learn from each other. Finally, I hope that years from now, this channel is not only a record of how a farm was built, but also a reminder that big projects are completed one small step at a time. You do not have to finish everything today, you just have to keep moving forward. And thank you again for watching. Thank you for being here at the beginning of the adventure, and I hope I will see you again in the next episode of Building the Farm Dream. If you like the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, or just hang around. It don't matter. See you guys.
I just had to let you know you're